everyone, welcome to my channel Narula Stenography. In this video series, I will provide you Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the President of India, Lok Sabha speeches. So be ready. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Start. My government also propose to introduce a bill for the reorganization of the present Bombay state and to reconstitute it as two separate states. My government have already announced their decisions on the major recommendations of the Pay Commission. The other recommendations are under their active consideration. The additional commitments on account of the pay allowances and pensionary charges alone are estimated to be about 31 crores per annum in respect of the services directly covered by the Jagannatha Das Commission inquiry. A statement of the estimated receipts and expenditure of the Government of India for the financial year 1960 to 1961 will be laid before you. My government note with gratification the relaxation in world tensions and the prospect of high-level meetings of the heads of governments for the promotion of world disarmament and peace. The initiative of the great statesmen, notably the President of the United States of America and the Chairman of the Council of Ministers of the Soviet Union, deserve the attention and appreciation of our country and people. My government, while welcoming the continuance of the voluntary unilateral suspension of nuclear test explosions and the increasing endeavors of both the United States of America and the Soviet Union to solve this problem, reiterate their view that the testing of weapons of mass destruction should be abandoned. We welcome these trends and the direct contacts between the leaders of the great powers and wish success in their efforts, which we feel assured are inspired with sincere desire to halt the armaments race and for world peace. We also welcome wholeheartedly in the midst of the awesome growth of armaments and the fear and passions from which they spring and on which they rest, the newer development of the projection of the picture of a warless world wherein nations will not only lay down their arms but also reject war as a method of settling disputes and devote their energies and resources to building a peaceful world. Devoted as my government and people are world peace and cooperation, they are determined to adhere to a peaceful approach and the policy of non-alignment, to both of which our country stands fully committed by history and outlook, faith and conduct, and by the overwhelming desires and convictions of our people. Parliament has expressly endorsed this policy on several occasions. I have had the privilege and pleasure of visiting Cambodia, the Republic of Vietnam, the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, Laos, and Ceylon, and to receive the generous welcome and joyous greetings of their governments and peoples. I was happy to welcome to our capital the President of the United States of America and Later, the president of the Soviet Union, who in their persons represent not only the greatness and power of their countries but also the fervent desires of their people for world peace. We are looking forward to the visit of the chairman of the Council of Ministers of the Soviet Union, Mr. Khrushchev, another messenger of peace in the world today. The goodwill and moral support of this country will be behind the efforts of these two great countries and those of others in full measure in their search for disarmament and peace. My government were glad to welcome the Prime Minister of Afghanistan, Australia, Cambodia, Ghana, Nepal, and Sweden. We look forward to the visits of President Nasser of the United Arab Republic, His Majesty the King of Morocco, and the Prime Minister of Finland. The Vice President visited the Philippines, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland, receiving cordial welcome from the governments and the people there. My Prime Minister visited Afghanistan, Iran, and Nepal and was welcomed with an abundance of goodwill. The exchange of visits of my Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of Nepal has further strengthened the bonds of affinity and friendship and proclaimed the desire and determination for cooperation in the interests of our two countries. Our relations with Commonwealth countries and our participation at various Commonwealth gatherings have served to create greater understanding of our internal and external policies and in an appreciable measure served also to assist our economic development. I am happy to note that further agreements have been reached with Pakistan in regard to our boundary disputes. It is the hope of my government that these arrangements with Pakistan will lead to a successful delimitation of our boundaries along our frontiers with our neighbor with whom we have always desired to remain in friendly relations. In the United Nations, our delegation reflected the deep feelings of our people in regard to the problem of the liberation of colonial countries and more particularly in regard to Algeria in the sustained struggle of the Algerian people for their national independence. We welcome the independence of the Cameroons till recently under French administration. We look forward to the emergence to nationhood in the coming years of several other colonial areas in Africa. The policy of apartheid pursued by the government of the Union of South Africa inflicts untold suffering and indignity of the majority of the people who are subjects of that government. These include large number of people of Indian origin. This policy constitutes a violation of human rights under the Charter of the United Nations and it has again met with overwhelming disapproval by the United Nations in the last session of the General Assembly. My government have decided to exchange diplomatic representatives with Cuba, Venezuela, and Colombia in South America and Guyana in Africa. Member of Parliament, I have placed before you the main events and achievements and our concerns of the past year. I have also projected before you some of the great tasks and burdens that are in front of us. They must engage your dedicated attention, your understanding, and cooperation in regard to problems of our economic planning, the defense of our country, and our contribution to world peace are required by our government and people in increasing measure. Thus, will Parliament fulfill its historic role in our Constitution? We have celebrated this year the 10th anniversary of our young republic, our Constitution, which we gave unto ourselves, wherein all powers and authority are based upon and spring from the people, has endured and grown in strength. The policies and achievements of my government and our people have strengthened our democracy and continue to import into it economic and social content in increasing measure. We are fortunate in the historic background that our national struggle developed and the inspiration that the life and example of the father of the nation gave to us. In this 11th year of our young republic, we may look back as well as forward with pride and confidence, though not with complacency. The tasks ahead of us are stupendous. They call for constant vigilance, greater determination and discipline, and a sense of purpose both among our people and in our administration. This alone will make our democracy a reality in terms of the masses of our people, our vast resources, and the qualities of our people have become engaged in the tremendous tasks of construction and progress that lie ahead of us. In these, the quality of our administration into which must be imposed an ever increasing sense of urgency, rationalization of procedures, the emergence and development of greater confidence at all levels, and the avoidance of waste of manpower and time must be an urgent consideration. It will continue to be the constant endeavor of my government to initiate and further efforts and plans to bridge the gaps between the time of formulation of policies and their implementation to enable our people to participate at all levels in our economic and social developments, and for them to feel a sense of function and dignity which independence has brought to us. My government seeks to uphold the dignity and independence of our land and people, to promote our unity and social well being, and to build a democratic and socialist society in which progress is sought and attained by peaceful means and by consent. Members of Parliament, I bid you to your labors in this new session and wish you all success. I earnestly trust that wisdom and tolerance and a spirit of cooperative endeavor will guide you. May your labors bear fruit for the good of our country and people and the world, whom we are all privileged to serve. So friends, please like, share and subscribe my channel, and thank you.